Hello, and welcome to Community TV with Adaire. This is TV for you by TV from me, where I talk to people in the community who are doing amazing things to add value to the lives of people around them. Now, this could be anything from meditation, a yoga class, learning to cook, gardening, even tarot cards are covered here. Today, it is my absolute pleasure to welcome back one of my dear friends and namesake, Liz Palmer. And Liz today is sharing her expert knowledge on brain health. Now, what she says as during our conversation, what she'll be sharing with us is that her beliefs are our brains are the most important organ in our bodies. Without a functioning brain, we have no past, no future, and our present is stolen as well. So whether you're a person in midlife, an athlete, or a senior citizen, knowing how to nourish your brain is an important aspect of a rich and rewarding life. I will bring Liz in now, and we will talk about some of the statistics and some of the things that go on around brain health. Hello, Liz. Welcome.
Hi, Adaire. It's nice to see you again back here in Adelaide.
I know we're in the same country, in the same city, and we will have to catch up.
Yeah, for sure.
Both of us being jet setters. Well, thanks, Liz, for jumping in. I know it's short notice, and I see that you are being flexible and you are in your car, which is really cool. But just, I know you've been travelling around the countryside and indeed overseas giving talks on brain health. So I'm interested in a little bit of what led to your interest and subsequent expertise in the topic.
Oh, well, I'm happy. I'm actually very passionate to share my story. When I was 19 years old, I had a car accident. And it was quite a severe car accident where I rolled my car without a seatbelt on, and I hit my head twice as my car rolled around. And it wasn't until 40 years later, 40 years, that I was diagnosed with indeed a brain injury. So in
Wow.
those 40 years, I had so many health conditions that I didn't understand what was wrong with me. And I was overweight. I had thyroid issues. I had energy issues. And no one bothered to look and see if it was my brain. And it wasn't until I was actually participating in a course on brain health that they asked for a volunteer to have a brain analysis. And I stepped up and they said, "Oh my gosh, you've got a really bad right cerebellar brain injury." So I then started to really seek help for myself. And once I got my brain connected and back working again, I just felt like it was such an important topic. And so many people were like me, had an undiagnosed brain injury. And so then I started working, and now I am attending a Dr. Amen certification for nutritionists on brain health. So that's kind of
Oh,
where I'm
wow.
at. And I'm opening my clinic now that I'm a resident. Yay! As of last week.
Yay!
Yay!
Congratulations!
Yeah,
That's a
it
news
is.
in itself.
It's a 3-year trip. But now that I've got my residency, I'm going to be opening a clinic on Melbourne Street and working on circulatory health and brain issues. So that's kind of where I'm at right now.
So when's the launch? We will talk about the brain health in a moment, but
Yeah.
I'm as excited to hear that you're opening your clinic. So
Yeah. So
tell-
my business name, I got my business name registered last week, and I'm getting my website up. It's Beaming Health. And it's I've got a beam ray, which is a bed that you lie on that increases circulation and in circulation to the brain. And then I'll be doing some coaching along with it. I'm a certified nutritionist, but I've really never practiced here because I haven't been able to. I've been restricted because I'm not a resident. And now that I'm a resident, I'll be doing that. So I'm just going to start out by doing one day a week. And I'll be working with Tobias. For those of you that know Tobias,
yes,
he
I know
owns,
Tobias.
yeah, he's awesome. And
Yes.
so he's letting me just rent a space from his clinic there. And I'm just going to start one day a week, and I'm still working out all the details. But at least I got my name started, got my website, And
That's
I'm beginning my journey here in Adelaide.
that's fantastic. It's a long time coming. And for those who don't know, Tobias does massage, and he does have essential oils as well.
Yes, we love
So, so
everybody. Everybody that knows Tobias loves Tobias. He's a
he,
wonderful, wonderful human
he
being.
he is amazing. And so shout out to Tobias. We might even pop his link to his page in the comments. So, no, what I would like to know is when you're traveling around, because with you, Liz, I love it because it's like you pop up and you say, oh, well, I'm in Singapore, or I'm in Hawaii, or I'm in Bali, or I'm, sounds to me like that's not going to be happening quite so much. But in your
Right.
travels, you have, I would imagine, when you went up to Queensland and across to New Zealand, you were doing talks on brain health. What was the idea? Oh, before we do that, I would like to say that we do have some people watching, and thank you so much for joining us on this Wednesday afternoon. I don't know how you cope with this, because I think I've flown from Brisbane to Adelaide, and I think I'm jet lagged. So any longer, and it'd take me a week to recover. But Trish is here, and she's saying, have to chat with you about doing one on sound healing. Yes, Trish, please do. I would love to have you as a guest here on Community TV with Adaire and sharing about sound healing. If you are here, just shout out and say hello like Trish has. And also remember that people you know, people you love, your friends and family, everybody on the planet will benefit from this information. So make sure they see it or hear it. So with your workshops or your seminars, Liz, on brain health, just give us a potted version about what people would hear, what sort of things you share. And then I know that you've got some statistics probably filed away in there in your brain about things like Alzheimer's, and so if you just share with us what
Yeah, I mean, I think that's one of the most shocking things, Adair, that people don't realize what's happened in our culture over the last 40 years. 40 years ago, Alzheimer's was not even on the top 20 reasons why people were passing away. And now it is the number one cause of death in Australia for Australian women. Number one cause of death. In England, it's the number one cause of death across both genders. In New Zealand, it is in the top 10. In America, when I started doing more brain health, it was the sixth leading cause of death. And in a few years, it's now the fourth leading cause of death. So it is taking more lives than any other disease now across the board. It is costing trillions of dollars as a international disorder and disease. And there is no cure in a bottle. There is no magical treatment. Out of the 29 medications that they've looked at for treating, they've had a 99.9% failure. So it is not about looking for the next best cure. It is about really information, knowing what to do, knowing how to take care of yourself, and not waiting until you have a diagnosis, but doing all the right things, leading up and living a lifestyle that prevents brain degeneration.
Yeah. Now, that it's really interesting that you said earlier that you were a nutritionist, and you haven't practiced, but you are bringing that in and linking that to brain health. There would be clearly I would say that there's something to do with what we put in our bodies as to how that impacts on our brain health. So can you just share with us what the links are there between what we eat and how we think?
Certainly. Our brain works on, our brain needs glucose. We need hydration, number one. So we have to be drinking water. So good hydration. We need glucose, and glucose comes in any kind of time we eat, whether we eat fat or carbohydrates or proteins. Everything is converted into glucose or fuel for our brain. And over the last 40 years, since the increase of Alzheimer's and dementia, we have come to rely too much on refined carbohydrates for our fuels. Just think about our kiddie menus, what we're teaching our children to eat. Chicken nuggets, spaghetti bolognese, sandwiches, a lot of glucose. I mean, well, I know, Adaire, you really like the ketosis diet as well, but we've really converted our culture into an over carbohydrate producing machines, which eventually our bodies are not good at using glucose for fuel. And the older you get, the more you are inefficient in using glucose for the energy that our brain needs. And so
Mm-hmm.
what do they feed our senior citizens? If you go to a home for senior citizens, again, toast and bread and pasta and all those things that are not nourishing our brains. So we
Yes.
need good quality fats, and we need to alter our diets we need to teach our children.
Mm.
And then in our mid age, we need to look at getting our energy through much healthier food sources.
Yeah. So I'd just like to acknowledge we've got Cheryl here. Thanks for joining us, Cheryl, and Corinda. Lovely to see you. It's been a little while since I've seen Corinda. And I do remind you that if you know people, and all of us do, who loved ones, friends and families that would benefit from this information, please do let them know. We are talking about brain health, and I'm with the lovely Liz Palmer, and we're on My Time TV, and we are broadcasting out through the Binge Network syndication program to over 50 channels of TV on demand. So I think you're saying for brain health, Liz, the good fats, low carbs, and is it the high protein, or is it more the fats?
It's more the fats. We really should be getting more of our calories from fat. So a really good brain healthy diet is eating all your organic fruits and vegetables. And organic is one of the key words here. Now they're finding glyphosate or Roundup in our brain cells. When you're utilizing toxins in our production of our food, that accumulates in the brain. So organic fruits, organic vegetables, good quality grass-fed beef, and good fish, high quality fatty fish. Not our tuna is not a good fish, but the smaller fish, sardines, salmon, other fish that good quality fats. I am not a vegan fan. I think a vegan diet is too depleted in the good fats, the DHA that our brains need for good quality production of the fats in our brain. You know, we're really fat heads, Adaire. Most of our brain is made up of fat. That's what it is.
I like that.
If you were to feel it, if you were to hold a brain in your hand, it is not a thick organ. It's more like squishy tofu when you
Well,
feel
thank
it.
you for sharing that, and I probably will never do it, but
I've
I
never
can
felt
hear.
my brain either, but it is really smushy in there, and it's mostly fat. So we need good quality fats. And you know, our brain is so easily. Everybody's been talking about gut health lately, and I know that's really important. And if you have a gut that's out of balance, you've got a brain that's out of balance, because they're very, very closely associated. So
Yes.
I'm all about good gut health as well.
Yes, yes. Liz, I'm also interested, and I know that you've done some fasting, and I do a fast like every day. Where time restricted eating. I think it's more.
Yeah, actually, I haven't eaten. I haven't eaten yet today, and here it is, 2 o'clock, and I haven't eaten yet. Um, it's called autophagy when you fast, and
Yes.
you know all about that.
Well, let's. Does that relate to brain health? So, is there something around that fasting and brain health? Because I follow his name, Dr. Eric Berg, and he's talking about when you're fasting and the autophagy. That's what Michael Mosley calls it, but Eric Berg calls it autophagy. I
I
need to
love
learn.
Eric Berg. He is great. I love his quick explanations are excellent, aren't they? Really, really
Yeah, they
good.
are. I was just watching one on this morning on why you shouldn't eat breakfast, and I'm also like we're conditioned. We're totally conditioned to think that we need to have cereal or toast or something in our stomachs to start the day because it's I think we're conditioned by the food companies. But this could
Yes.
get a little bit controversial. But I just wondered if you knew that there was any links between fasting and brain health, because I know in the literature that I've read that there is a connection between prevention of Alzheimer's and fasting as well. So did you have any thoughts about that? I know I'm putting you on the spot a little bit,
Well,
but
dementia and Alzheimer's. So the big difference, people ask me this all the time, what's the difference between dementia and Alzheimer's? And Alzheimer's is an actual diagnosed disease, and dementia is a certain set of symptoms where you're having brain health. So if you have Alzheimer's, you have dementia. But if you have dementia, it doesn't necessarily mean you have Alzheimer's. They can be kind of both in between. But you can have Alzheimer's for many reasons, not just degeneration, but you can have toxicities. You can have an injury to the brain, like a TBI, traumatic brain injury to your brain. You can be born with blood vessel restrictions in the brain, which can cause dementia. So there's many different forms of dementia. And I do believe that you can reverse dementia by properly removing toxins and nourishing the brain. So autophagy is going to be incredibly helpful for removal of toxins because you're
yes,
allowing your own body to basically, I like to think of it like Pac-Man. Pac-Man are
yes,
the little Pac-Man's going to eat all the bad stuff in there. So when
yes,
you do the autophagy, you're allowing your brain to regenerate itself by eating up the toxins. And we
yes,
have a way overly toxic life, as you know, just with
mm,
water, air, what we've allowed to be put into our soils, and what we apply to our skin, breathe in, put on our hair. It's a living that non-toxic lifestyle is going to be one of
mm,
the things that you can do for your brain.
yes, as much as humanly possible, I would imagine. So
Yes.
So you said that you believe that dementia might be reversible. Would there
Yeah.
be a way by doing eliminating the toxins and including a high fat, high protein diet or low carb diet, that if you have been diagnosed, because I'm actually currently in our family, we do have one of our family members who has been diagnosed with Alzheimer's. And there seems to be, from the medical perspective, it's basically, have some tablets which might bring back the memory for 12 months or so, but then it could possibly go down and take a very steep dive. But so there's been a bit of fear around that, but it'd be good to know that if there's certain steps that people can take or even are willing to experiment with, that's only going to improve their lifestyles anyway, isn't it?
Yeah, and really, if you're tackling this, the things that you need to know is why are you in this situation? Is
Mm,
it Did you know that mold, when it gets into the brain, can definitely cause dementia? So you've really got to figure out what is causing it. So a series of different tests that you can do, and you can do urine tests, blood tests, salivary testing, and a specific DNA
mm,
you may have. It's called the APO34 gene. And if you have that gene, your likelihood of dementia are higher. So there's certain testing that you can get done to determine why you're in this situation. Once you know where you're at, then you can do the lifestyle choices, making sure
mm.
you exercise, making sure you're drinking hydration, making sure you're getting your proper nutrients. And so
Yes.
it's a really systematic approach. There's a great book called The End of Alzheimer's that I love. The doctor really lays out step by step what systems you do, what tests you do, and the lifestyle that you take. And actually, Dr. Amen, who I'm doing his certification program, he has definitely got protocols, and there's supplements that you can take that you really need. to get the
Mhm.
brain back working again.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
yeah.
I mean, that it sounds and we could talk for quite a long time about this. I know that we are down running out of time at the moment, but I just before we do wind up, what I wanted to get you to do, Liz, is just do a bit of a shout out for the Riverland Wellness Festival, which is happening this weekend, I believe, and
Yeah.
you're on the program.
Yes, a Sunday at 12:45. I know for anybody that's in Adelaide, the Riverland is a long way to go for a festival, but I think it's going to be a great festival with Tobias is going to be there, Michelle Crone, a lot of my friends that that I've been around for a while are going to be there. I'm speaking on at 12:45 on Sunday, and it's just a class called Healthy Brain, Healthy You, and goes over some of the concepts that I'm going to be talking about. And
Hmm.
also, while I'm getting all set up for my business, I'm available for private consultation, for Zoom consultations, so people can help their loved ones and get an assessment and at least get some ideas of what can I do today? What can I
Yes,
do for my loved one tomorrow to help them and to also prevent it for myself? So there's a lot that you can do. I think, Adaire, that people have come to accept that, oh my God, once I have a diagnosis, I'm
that
doomed. And
yes,
I
yes.
think we're reversing that thought. You aren't doomed. And hope is a very positive thing to give people. And I want to give people hope for brain disorders, injuries, degeneration, that there are things that you can do. And I'm a good
Yes,
example.
yes,
10 years ago, I couldn't remember how to drive home. I lost, and that was a scary moment. And I don't have
yes.
those lapses in my memory anymore. I'm much better.
So, well, I'm pleased to hear it, and I really am, because you probably wouldn't be here in Australia and not in Adelaide chatting with me now. I would imagine that's taken you on quite an amazing journey just to, from something that happened so long ago, but then you're able to share the learnings and share your wisdom that's come from that since then to help other people. So I think it's a pretty amazing thing that you're doing. So you have a clinic opening in North Adelaide. Did you say when the launch was? I don't think you did. When
I
you're
I haven't. I just got my business name registered last week, so
so it's
I'm
still
yeah, it's going to be whenever I've got the space, as soon as I'm ready. So as soon as I have
okay.
somebody that wants to come, and the Beamer is an amazing way to get things going. And I will have the Beamer up at the Riverland. So if anybody's interested in circulatory health, that is something that is amazing as well. Um, I do want to call myself. I like to call myself a neuro nerd. I'm excited about helping anybody really learn about their brain and what they can do.
That's gold, a neuro nerd. Well, I'm
Yeah.
more than happy to call you my friend neuro nerd. So I think that's amazing. So up the Riverland, if you are in the Riverland in South Australia, or even if you want to take the drive up there, Fiona and I had planned to do that last year, but Jerry was actually ill and we couldn't make it. So,
Oh.
but definitely, if you're in the area, do swing by the Riverland Wellness Festival, and it's at the Renmark Hotel at Renmark. So it's on the Saturday the 16th and Sunday the 17th of November, which is this coming up weekend. Boy, that goes fast, doesn't it? Time flies when you're having fun.
Getting close to Christmas, as they say.
I know, I'm still looking for Christmas 3 years ago. So
Oh,
well, Liz, I do hope that we do catch up. Before we go, how can people get in contact with you? Can I put a link to your business page and people can send you a message on Messenger?
yes, absolutely. I will be happy to do that. And I'm on Facebook. I'm still haven't gotten my business page set up as well, but I'm Liz Happy Now on Facebook. And
Mm-hmm.
I will definitely answer any messages that you have. And I can help guide you if you need some guidance.
And if you want a one-on-one consultation, just reach out to Liz through her page. We'll make sure the link is above as soon as we're finished having our chat. So thanks so much, and I really appreciate you and appreciate you jumping in at late notice. Like just always ready just to get out there and do this stuff, which is awesome. So
yeah, and I promise we'll catch up in person very soon.
Oh, what are you doing Friday? You're going to the Andrew Eggleton's Art of Presenting?
No. Okay, now you've got to send that to me. Since I've been gone for a whole month, I'm out of the loop. So send that on to me and I'll let you know.
I'll definitely do that. I think Peony's booked us in, so we'll be there on Friday, and it'd be lovely to see if we can. So
I don't have anything scheduled, so I'll see if I can make it.
All right, no worries. And for those of you watching, thank you for your patience while we sort out our personal diaries. All right, Liz, don't go anywhere. I'll wind up the show and then we can have a bit more of a chat.
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye, everybody.
Have a lovely Liz Palmer on brain health, and you can contact Liz using the link above, but don't do it now, just in the moment when I put the link in there. So I'm Adaire Palmer. We're on Community TV with Adaire, streaming through mytimetv.live, our TV channel, and we're syndicated out to over 50 channels of TV on demand through the Binge Network syndication program. If you are on any other page then other than My Time TV, feel free to pop over here or leave a comment, but it won't not likely to get seen if you are on a different page. Thanks so much, and we'll see you next week for Community TV with Adaire. Bye for now.